Well, would you look at that? Maria Sharapova involved in more controversy. Welcome to another episode of Mad Hatter Radio, reporting live from the Batcave. And as always, I appreciate everybody listening in. This go around, we're going to talk about Maria Sharapova. She's back into some more shit. So, what's happening this time is she's in a situation in India where she has been, after an investigation, they are now looking into her for cheating and criminal activity or criminal conspiracy. So before I get into that, I want to lay the context. So Maria Sharapova has been through a little bit of controversy. I mean, she's gone from one of the best stars, one of the best female tennis players, in the past maybe 10, 20 years. Um, but recently, March 2016, actually, she was suspended for use of this drug called meldonium. So in January 1st, 2016 is when they said that the drug was basically banned. And this was made by the anti-doping agency, the World Anti-Doping Agency. So she was then caught in March 2016 with that, and she was suspended. And she was suspended in the same month. So you could definitely make the argument that it could have still been in her system, when she found out that it was banned, and it could have been in her system 2 months later. I don't know the chemical makeup of this product, so I don't know how long it stays in your system. And she's from Russia, and in Russia it is legal. But the thing is, according to the entity that you have to listen to, the World Anti-Doping Agency, it's illegal. So it doesn't really matter if it's legal in your country or not, right? And actually, a lot of people in the tennis world and a lot of people were not buying that excuse that she had. So now, fast forward to November 2017, and this actually stems back from 2012. She is involved in an investigation from India that, quote, that calls her situation, quote, cheating and criminal conspiracy. So what happened is that she endorsed back in 2012 a high-rise complex called Ballet, and it ended up falling through. But the builders still received millions of dollars from the buyers, and so obviously it fell through. And India's pissed off, and people are pissed off that invested into this ballet situation. So let me start this off by saying, me personally, I don't think that Maria Sharapova is a bad person. I'm not. This is not a video to say that, oh, she's evil, let's hate on her. I'm going to make a different point. The point that I want to make is that people of color, black people, are treated way differently. They're not given the same amount of chances as somebody, a beautiful blonde white woman like Maria Sharapova. And of course, you can be like, oh, it's obvious. But you know what? I'm still going to call that out because it still keeps happening and it's bullshit. And again, it's nothing against her. It's not her fault. So the fault of it is in the system that puts her above other people. That's where the fault's at. So I'm not blaming her for anything. I mean, I'm blaming her for a lack of discretion, for doing all this stuff and continuing to screw up like this. She has a lack of discretion, but other than that, like, people make mistakes. I'm not faulting her. Again, I'm faulting the system that gives her the advantage because of how she might look, which she had no control over, right? So yeah, like, think about, for instance, like Serena Williams. Like, she gets hated on basically just for being black, just for being a strong black woman in her build. She takes a lot of shit for that. And actually, I want to make this connection between. There's a story by the New York Daily News by Chuck Modiano, and I'll put the link in the description to this article and to the Sharapova situation. But it's called "The Great White Hope Quarterback Awards: Tyrod Taylor and How White Privilege Works in the NFL." I'm not even going to get into white privilege. I'm not saying white privilege as though like every white person has it easy. That's not what I'm saying. But anyway, let's just get to what the article's about. So about a week or two ago, there was a NFL football game between Ryan Fitzpatrick at starting quarterback and Josh McCown. Like, these are two horrible quarterbacks, but for some reason we have to sit there and watch these guys play football. So combined, they have 68 wins, 116 losses, 15 combined teams that they've starting for 13 total teams, and zero playoff games or wins. They've had not just wins, but they played in zero playoff games. But somehow these guys are starting, right? And it makes you wonder. Now, you have guys like Vince Young, Geno Smith, as mentioned earlier, Tyrod Taylor, Colin Kaepernick. These guys might have played on some teams that were bad, but if you look at their statistics overall, a lot of them are a lot better than the guys that they get replaced by the white guys that they get replaced by. Again, not hating on white guys, but hating on the system that puts white guys over other people. So, I mean, just the other week, Tyrod Taylor, the black quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, he played. Basically, his statistics are not that bad. Like, he's a winning quarterback. He has a pretty good completion percentage. He has a pretty good overall quarterback rating. But he was replaced by somebody who hadn't even started in the NFL. Obviously, a white quarterback who went in there and threw 5 interceptions the next game. And then the coach comes back and says, "Oh, well, we're not really sure where we stand with the quarterback situation." You should be sure. Like, if somebody throws 5 interceptions, you should start the other guy. It's not really that hard to figure out. But they still got to figure it out. So basically, when it comes to a black quarterback or a quarterback of color, there's still a lot of discrimination that goes on. I mean, basically, you have to be either young or still athletic in some, capacity. Like, you can't just be a pocket quarterback. You have to use your legs. So I want to wrap this up by saying that, the sports world, what's happening with Maria Sharapova, it's unfortunate that she's embroiled in all this, but at the same time, it's like, look, you really think any other athlete of color would get the same chances as this? Like, we have to figure out some ways to expose this and change this. Because, I mean, there's still some blatant racism that's happening in entertainment, so I'm going to leave that there. Let me know what you guys think. I really appreciate you guys listening. If you guys like this, please leave me a thumbs up. Like, there are so many haters on my channel that always find me, and they are more inclined to give me a thumbs down. So leave me a thumbs up every once in a while, and leave some comments if you got suggestions about things you want to hear about, suggestions about my channel. Just put it in the comments. I'll try to respond. And thanks again.